People of Earth, how are you? My name is Al. Across the table from me is my friend Joe. Together we do this thing called Kinda Right. And sorry about that overmodulation there, everybody. We got it under control. Something got fucking
right
nicked.
over there,
We're good. I'm doing it on the fly, Joe.
How you doing there, buddy?
Okay, good. Hey, your head looks great.
Yes, I did this. This butterfly bandage job is my own.
I'm hoping that lots of you out there tune into, consecutive episodes. So
I should do a.
I hope a lot of you listen.
How to fix a good gash in your head?
Yeah.
Since I've had so many.
I hope you listen to 2 shows in a row because I'm going to talk about the last show, and that's good because if then you know what I'm talking about, and it, brings people up to speed. It's just weird.
Is that the longest show ever?
No, we did 3.5 with Dad twice. 2.5. We just did 2.
That's the night that I left here because we were wrapping it up.
Yeah, but that was his
Pops,
second show.
You
the
and
first
Pops
show,
went and did another hour or so, didn't you?
Yeah, and the first show we also did over 3 hours with Dad.
Well,
so yeah, no, it was a nice long show. Gabby's an interesting kid.
She's a nice kid.
Yeah, she's a good kid. And I was just, it was weird. We got to the, Joe and I were going through the subjects, and do you remember what she talked about at the end? I'm like, you told me you had something to talk about. She talked about the 60-year-old friend who wants young people to know that old people like sex too.
Yes, vaguely.
And then she talked
because
about
I had too much to drink,
and then
on the last show,
and then somehow that turned into talk about lotion. Her brother stealing her lotion. So I go this whole show trying to behave and not bring up anything sexual and
she brought it up.
She's at the end of the show. She starts talking about
because
I'm trying to be respectful because you know me. I don't give a fuck what I say. If you come, that's it. But I felt like that's Bill's daughter. I'm gonna be.
Well, we both were.
I'm going to observe a little bit more decorum than even I do with my own son. I observe no decorum with my son when he comes in. He's been here 3 or 4 times.
And neither do I. I asked your son. Because he's a boy. It's
different. Right. It's different, right? But even though she's...
about, if he had a friend that fucked dogs.
And I know to you, they're all still kids, but compared to her, he's a fucking kid. And
you're right.
She's technically an adult.
Well, she is.
And even though he's
she's 22, right?
Yeah, even though he's just graduated high school and is fully gainfully full-time employed and working very hard, he's not an adult. He's
not
clearly a boy.
But he's older. He's an older soul.
He is, but he's still immature.
All right. He's still a teenage kid.
Yeah.
Teenage boy.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm just saying. So
he's a very engaging... He's a person of few words, but the stuff that he says are pretty concise, and he talks about the way he sees things.
He generally doesn't talk about anything other than what he knows. Sometimes he makes
he's not full of shit.
No.
He's not a hyperbolizer.
Sometimes he'll voice an opinion, and he's just wrong, but that's fine. Kids that age are painful know-it-alls, right?
Well, listen to us. We're fucking wrong all the time.
But we're total know-it-alls.
Contradictory.
Even though, awful.
Fucking wrong.
Just from one, never mind show to the other, like one fucking segment to the other.
Yes, I'll contradict myself 4 times in the same show.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, though. And then she went on to talk a little bit about tattoos, which I thought, if you listen back to it, it was an interesting discussion. And then unconditional love. And then unconditional love is what we wrapped the show up with.
We did?
Yeah. You didn't get that far,
fucking hammered. No, I listened to about an hour.
That's good. But I was just commenting before we started that I got to start bringing water because it turns out, I know you're just like me. So I'm on the wagon right now, and I drink a lot of booze, but it's only because I drink a lot of liquid. So I'm supplementing booze with this. I'm drinking a gallon of water a day or more.
That's water is, for somebody your size, a gallon's probably right.
Well, I'm just saying I must have been drinking a gallon of booze a day or beer and booze.
And I'm not talking about fat either. I'm talking
I know.
You're a big guy.
Oh, no, I'm a big dude.
When you're small, when when you're thin,
I'm still
you're
big.
a big dude.
Yeah, I'm still kind of big and intimidating, which is a really good way to go through life. Nobody ever threatens to kick my ass. Oh, and if they do, they get beat. But nobody ever just...
It's a double ledger.
It's weird. But I don't get any small guys picking on me because they want to beat on a big guy.
Go to bars, though.
Yeah.
There'd be that fucking short guy over in the corner, and he would zero in on me.
Yeah,
it was like a fucking kamikaze zeroing in on a fucking destroyer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And it's a no-win situation for me. Because
it is.
If I touch the small guy, I'm an asshole. And if the small guy beats me to
shit out of
death,
you're
I'm
a punk.
Fucking cunt. So, I mean, it's just like it's a lose-lose. You know,
that's why going out.
So I used to try to buy him beer, and
that's why.
Let me buy you a beer, buddy.
That's
Calm
why you.
down.
That's why you don't. That's why you don't go out.
And plus,
stay home.
I'm a nightmare when I'm out too, because
you have no governor.
You
don't know
I'm
what to
crazy.
say
There's
when
something wrong,
or when to say it to anybody.
Well,
no, you're generally very polite, though. The thing is
I'm not mean. I'm just.
Well, you're very polite, and if
I have had my pants down around my ankles. This is 20, 30 years ago. Probably 20. And standing there with Steve Powers and Dana DeGregorio, God rest your soul, Dana, and a couple other guys, John McCreedis, and while they were just trying to get my drawers up. So that's why I'm never going to be running anything, that's for sure. Well, somebody's got to have pictures of that.
I mean,
and it's not like because I have huge genitals or anything,
right?
Believe me.
So my other point about the liquid was I was fucking. This is what happens when you get to be a drunk and all addicted and shit. Like, I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do the without being drunk, and it turns out I think I was better than usual.
Yeah,
I did a good job, huh? I thought it was my best job in a while was the other night, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't drunk.
Did you stay pretty much sober?
I smoked. I didn't even smoke pot in front of her. I smoked a little bit before the show, and then I went for 3 hours before I got to smoke anymore, and I was pretty much sober by the end of the show.
See, I don't.
Stone cold.
I don't pay attention. I don't know whether sometimes you bring in various little jugs of fucking booze.
Yeah, no, I'm all set with the drinking.
Bunch of red cups going.
But I will tell you right now, I'm gonna continue to smoke pot before the show.
Well, there's nothing wrong.
It loosens you up a little, and it's just a nice way to unwind, and it's not that bad for your liver.
Hey, it's show 60. We're about halfway to being like loosened up. By show 120,
we should be in some sort of groove.
Yeah, we'll be able to do this show. See, I told Al if we started this, we have to do 2 years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how painful the numbers are. We have to do 2 years. And we have to really kind of do a year with just him and I. Because you have to, there are stats that go along with this. And now, neither one of us really care if
anyone ever listens.
Well, we enjoy it, but, I mean, you can't have something that's... If we started with 50 listeners... a week or something, and it goes down to 10, then we're doing something terribly wrong.
Yeah, no, it's way better to start with no listeners.
Right. You start with 0, and then if you want to see it like a slow tick up, and for the most part, we see it's even, but there's a kind of a rule of thumb that no one is going to listen to you. And I mean, Al and I have no prior fame. There's a lot of guys, if Jay Leno starts a podcast, he's going to have a lot of fucking built-in listeners.
Well, that's just it. We know
no
that.
Fame. Nobody knows who we are.
And that's really, really what, that's the only people who can make anything doing the podcasting. And guess what?
That's not true.
I don't. I'm just saying. Well, I'm there. Oh, you're saying there are people making a decent living podcasting who started podcasting. Yeah, right. No, I can
No,
see
there's a
that.
lot of them. Actually, there's probably the number one. Joe Rogan started podcasting, but he started video podcasting, and he does a sick amount of podcasts, and
Yeah.
they're all 3 hours long.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but he was famous before he started
and
podcasting.
he was, granted, but he wasn't like,
He had the UFC thing. He was on Fear Factor. He was on
he's
news
way
radio.
more famous than we are, because we were zero famous. We have zero fame.
He's also infinitely more handsome.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah. He's also,
And
dare I say, infinitely more talented as well.
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
Joe Rogan is a talented motherfucker,
He
dude.
he's very good at it. He's got the number.
His stand-up is amazing.
He's
his
got like the
classic
number
stand-up.
one. I think his podcast is close to number one.
It's like the number one podcast.
I mean, he's
Most
really good.
downloads. Yeah.
But he has
I keep forgetting to set the thing for
he's
people
got
to download our
2.8 million YouTube subscribers.
That's pretty
and
cool.
And he says that he's got more people that just listen. So he's got it's a huge fucking show.
His 3-hour podcast, it's every one of them, there's a video of it too?
Yeah.
How many cameras, do you know? 2 or
He's got
more?
some sort of a camera set up, and I think it's, God, I should know because
You've watched it.
I've watched. I don't really watch him. I listen to him while I'm doing something else. But the camera's able to. There's a camera pointing at him. There's a camera pointing at the guest.
Right.
He always has a guest, and I don't know if there's a third camera. So it's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And he's got a guy there, Jamie, who must do the shit that you do. He's
Yeah.
the audio dude and probably does what you do after the show to get it ready to go up.
Right. Oh, he never ever does a live.
Oh no, he does
Some live?
He does all of them live. I
Oh,
believe,
okay.
live on YouTube. And I don't know whether he has his own servers at this point or whether he has a hosting site. I don't know
Right.
which one it is. He's got a website. I haven't delved into it. But so it's always been video, and he's always done 3 or 4 a week, and he's been doing this since 2000, started in 2009.
Yeah.
So he was really, but the thing is, and I told Al, I did a lot of searching around because you do want to grow. It's not a money thing. Al put it better than I did because I was trying to think. It's not the money. It's not the fame. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be. That's why we've been talking about maybe doing at some point going video. That's going to be a tough. We don't even put out our last names all the time. I mean, if you're a regular listener, you know who we are. But because I've slipped enough and you've slipped enough. So
Right.
But we like to have feedback. That's it's cool to put something out there and having not just hate, not just having hate mail come back, but actually like an opinion that where you sit back and you go, you can learn something. And that's kind of where and I haven't seen any of it because we're still in our infancy. And one of the things that you see is this is sort of a number that I kind of pulled out of doing a bunch of research, is that if you're like us building a podcast show organically, there are a lot of people. It's 18 months before you have anyone listening to you.
Right.
And we've had a slow growth, and it's not terrible.
I think it would also help if maybe I told people I had a podcast, but I
don't think it matters.
You don't? I can't
keep going back.
tell, like in my professional life, my current professional life, I can't tell people I got a podcast.
You got to understand.
I can't have people listening to this podcast who I work with. I just can't.
You can tell everyone you know, and there might be 1 or 2 that are going to stick around.
Yeah, I even stopped. I'm off my regular.
And
Facebook,
they know
I'm
you.
off, but
They know they have a vested interest in listening to you if they're your friend.
right.
So, because there's not that many people. This takes a lot of time. So you have to be somebody that's, like we've said, you got to be in a car. You've got to
work for yourself and like podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, you're either on a computer, you're somewhere where you can listen to it.
Yeah, you have to like
and
podcasts.
You have to like us.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the thing that we have to find out whether we're, we can sit here and say, hey, that was a pretty good job, but we could fucking totally suck.
Well, I mean,
so
all you got to do is listen to
Yes.
All you got to do is listen to other podcasts. Every podcast I listen to by people like us,
it's horrible.
It's awful. First of all, it sounds awful. I don't know.
Right.
By the way,
I know.
Last night, the other night show was the best sounding one we did. It was warmed up. It was fucking good.
Al really cares about this too.
No, well, I think it's important.
He's very no, I do too.
You know what I mean?
And I told you, like there was some shows where I had to turn the volume up.
Yeah,
I
we
try to
remedied
listen
it.
to the show.
It's remedied now.
Not everyone, but I catch like one out of two.
Now the other night sounded good, and Gabby sounded particularly well. Well, she talked into the fucking mic. My dad is very good at talking into the microphone.
Well, he's trainable.
And he's fucking highly trainable. Evan finally is doing it, but his voice is too. He doesn't emote. But Gabby did great, and our number one listener, you know who that is?
Yes,
my brother Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Dave listens to every word of every show, and he constantly gives feedback. Not much lately. I think he's been busy, but he says that Kat comes off really, really cool on the podcast. Like the sound of her voice is good. She talks well. She speaks into the mic. She has an opinion.
Yeah.
She actually is. She's pretty funny too.
Look, I think if you can have some, you stay in the current event realm, because we don't have any movies that we're releasing.
Yeah,
and you kind of stay relevant that way.
Yeah,
and just put an opinion or
I mean, I work on
some shit
once in a while. I mean, I work
it can't
on
be all politics because it's fucking. I can't stand all politics.
I work on a little material, commentary wise, on stuff if I'm into it, but I can't come up with off the cuff shit. It's not it's like it's a current event show and that's that. It's not a comedy show. There's nothing else you and I can do.
I don't think there's
that anyone will
show...
listen to. Well, it doesn't matter because it wasn't about doing a show per se. It was about, well, it was, but we right off the bat when you said you wanted to do, and I tell the story all the time on the air. I'm sorry, and that's when people who know about the podcast ask, "Well, what the fuck?" I told them I'd do it, and all I wanted to do was capture the spirit of our conversations in the cabana. But now it's because obviously we don't talk like this. We're actually doing a show.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not just sitting here rapping. We are literally trying to fill up airspace with banter. You know what I mean?
That somebody out there might find interesting,
but it is
funny.
Right.
But
it is highly conversational though.
But it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I can only talk about somebody fucking their dog so much.
It's conversational unless you're diatribing.
Saying fuck every other word does not work too good.
We've gotten away from that.
Yeah, we kind of have.
Although I did notice that, well, as soon as Gabby came in, I didn't drop one F-bomb. But I did notice in the couple minutes before she was there, I dropped a bunch of them. And you dropped less, but you definitely dropped a few.
Yeah.
I just was talking
I
talk.
She's used to the F-bombs.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't do the C word.
No. But I have a feeling that if she comes by again, not that I'm going to talk sexual, but I might be able to loosen up a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I got to talk to Bill. Bill tried calling me, and I wasn't around.
Yeah.
See how she liked it.
Yeah, I hope she liked it. I found relevant bumper music too.
Oh, for breaks?
No, we only took one. But I put the Ramones tune in that goes gabba gabba hey gabba gabba ho because it sounds like Gabby.
So, do you have something that in particular you wanted to rap about?
Oh, what do you mean, current event wise? Well, I
know that you had something you wanted to bring up.
Well, no, I wanted to bring up exactly what we've been talking about for 20 minutes. I told you I don't. Maybe it sounds boring, but I think it might be a good a good way to start out every show by quickly reviewing the last show.
True.
You don't want to dwell upon.
Maybe
you
we
don't
want to contradict ourselves.
and you don't want to be. You don't want to repeat yourself, but if you can get a little, extra time, especially on a slow news cycle like we're in right now,
I'll tell you.
they did announce that Putin and the Donald they got a conference coming up in I don't know, I forget what it is. I want to say Helsinki, but I'm probably wrong. They're meeting in July, Putin and the Donald, which I think is a good thing.
Didn't they just meet?
No, that was Kim Jong, whatever the fuck.
No. I saw a picture. Was it an old picture of Trump and Putin?
Must have been an old picture.
All right, so they're gonna meet.
Yeah, so they're meeting, and there's more chatter about John Kelly stepping down, which whatever.
Have you heard anything? Because I haven't.
And then about what?
This investigation, Mueller. I mean, I haven't even been. Not only have I been.
People will
lacking on my Sunday show watch. Yeah. I can't even watch that shit anymore.
All the lefties will have you think that the reason why it's really quiet now, it's really the quiet before the storm. If the farther left people get, the more they're fucking convinced that Mueller is going to bring the presidency down. Tom Arnold thinks he's going to bring the presidency down, by the way. He's a fucking idiot. If you read up on that at all, you might want to put that.
Arnold?
You might want to put that in your browser.
I'll look it up.
Tom Arnold is teamed up with.
I heard something.
I think
about
it was
this.
Stormy's lawyer or something. Oh, by the way, her fucking case. She tried to re-sue him, and that got thrown out. Apparently, nothing is going to stick over there on the Donald. You know what I mean?
Well, he fucked her, and he paid her $130,000 to go away.
Right, and then the question.
So what is the
question was that? Did that $130,000 come from the campaign? Yeah, that's where it came from. Donald Trump is stupid enough to pay for a whore out of his campaign money. He fucking just pulled.
Now
he wrote her a check.
What is she? I don't know what the beef is. I think her lawyer is going at. And by the way, CNN has had that lawyer on, and like this is a real number, like 127 times. This hey, and if that's getting your ratings, but if you want to be a legitimate news organization and have Stormy Daniels' lawyer on 127 times, it just doesn't jive.
Did the Tom Arnold thing come up yet? Because I think that's who he's doing business with. Is fucking her lawyer or her ex-lawyer or something. He was on Stern a couple weeks ago, and he claimed he had. Tom Arnold is claiming he's going to bring Donald Trump down, and he's serious. He's actually serious.
Oh, Michael Cohen.
Who's that now?
Michael Cohen is the attorney that gave Trump. Was his lawyer who gave Stormy Daniels the money.
Oh, it was actually Trump's lawyer. Oops, I was backwards.
Now, I don't know whether I'm just reading a
You got
Twitter
to talk into the
thing
microphone,
here.
buddy.
I haven't. Michael Cohen photo with Tom Arnold fuels Trump tape speculation. So I don't know. You know, without going crazy, I
go crazy, baby. Go crazy.
Look at things. You know, I watch. For example, there is a show on CNN, and I don't care what political stripe you are. It's I like this guy. His name is W. Kamau Bell. Do you know who he is? And he's got a show on CNN. Of course, I can't remember the fucking name of the show. It's
like Kamal's show or some shit. I'll look it up, baby. Keep talking.
Yeah, W. Kamau Bell. And I have to find the name of this show. So
I'm getting it right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got it.
He's got a show on
W.
CNN.
Kamau Bell. My boy's show is called... Oh, shit.
Isn't that terrible?
It's right here, son. Hold on.
See, this is why I hate not having a fucking memory. It's just drunken
United
holes.
Shades of America.
The United Shades of America. And
son,
I record a show every Sunday night, and I watch it. If I'm staying up late, I'll watch it. And if not, I'll watch it Monday night or something like that. I genuinely like this guy, and he's a stand-up comic, and he's got a Netflix show. And
I got to start watching it.
He is married to a and I like it because it's just he goes to interesting places.
Melissa Hudson Bell.
Now he is as left wing as they come,
Right.
and he's got a comedy special that just came out on Netflix, which is very good. But if you think, one of the things I find interesting,
He was a former podcast host as well.
he is absolutely convinced, no question. I mean, this is just matter of fact for him. Anybody that would question this is ridiculous. That Donald Trump is an absolute racist.
Right.
And I find that
Offensive.
no, I'm not offended at all. I mean, you can have any opinion you want.
Sure, exactly.
I mean, I'm not offended.
Yeah.
I mean, if but if there is no arguing with him that Donald Trump is an absolute racist. And I've always said that, a racist is somebody that truly hates, if you hate black people, you're a racist. If you truly in your heart you hate, I think Trump doesn't handle well. He's not politically correct. So
got a lot of black people in his organization, man, in good jobs.
But there's a lot of people that are like Kamau, Kamau Bell, who think that this guy is he's just so racist it's crazy. And I don't see it. I don't think
either.
I don't think he's got. I think he says things, like he'll say, "The blacks love me."
Yeah,
but that's not.
that's insensitive at worst.
Yeah,
at worst. That's
it's insensitive. And
Yeah,
he called,
and it's not even insensitive. It's him not being able to speak. He's not a speaker. He's not a fucking public speaker. He's not a bullshit artist
he's
either.
not good at governing himself.
He's not a bullshit artist.
Well,
though.
no, that's not true.
Well,
Trump is an absolute genius.
Well,
at-
the art of bullshit. I get that.
He knows exactly. Sometimes I think he knows exactly what he's doing, even when he's saying this shit.
So when he says the blacks love me, you're saying he does that on purpose
I honestly
to elicit the response,
just so that more black people will listen to him.
Yeah, right.
And maybe
He probably figures he'll gain more blacks than he'll lose whites by putting it that
Right.
way. Right.
but and when he
By the way, I don't think that Donald ever said the blacks love me, but whatever. We're using that as an example.
I've heard Donald Trump say it. The blacks love me. The blacks. So that's not racist.
No, it's insensitive at
I
worst.
mean, Jesus Christ. How many times we've gone from
It's almost creative.
when I was very young, it was Negro
Yeah.
to black,
to African American. Now
There's
it's
something
black
in
again.
between too,
Now it's
man.
black again.
So I don't look.
You
it's
can
hard
say
to keep up, man.
you can say black, but you can't say the blacks. All right, you can say black, but
I
you
guess
can't
not.
say the blacks.
But you can. I don't know. And then he said he had that comment, which he denies, but I'm going to give the people. Enough people said that they heard him say it. He called these countries. I'm sorry, Kamau, but aren't these? I know Haiti's a shithole. Now, does that mean everybody in Haiti's a horrible person?
No.
No, of course not.
means they were born there, and
The
that's
continent of
where you live.
Africa has some serious problems.
Yeah, most of it actually.
I think there's more shitholes in the continent of Africa than not. Maybe I don't know.
Even the ones run by white people are kind
Egypt.
of fucked.
I don't think
Algeria and shit.
any white people run anything.
Algeria
anymore.
is an African nation. Fucking Libya is an African nation.
Well,
we just talked
Algeria was
about-
run by the French, right?
Yeah, but
As well as Morocco.
Yeah,
Is
but-
Morocco? See, I
but
don't even know what
they're
they are.
Arab people there. They're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's-
North Africa is
Arab.
Well, Egypt.
They're
You've
white
got-
guys. Half white and half black.
I don't know what you call a Middle Easterner. I guess they're
There's
brown.
an Arab. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you call them either. I mean,
But I find that, hey, he has every right to say it, and he
he can
believes
say
it.
whatever he wants. We have free speech here.
He
can say
believes
whatever the
it.
fuck he wants.
He believes it though,
and he makes you laugh. He's engaging.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I do
like
too.
if not that he's going to come out. He lives in Berkeley, California, so we're not hanging out because I ain't flying to fucking California. But If he moved into the neighborhood, I could see us being pals.
He's also pretty young, isn't he?
I don't know.
I gotta
No,
look.
he's 45.
All right. Well, he's younger than me.
I mean, he's not. You know, he's
No,
he's younger
yeah,
than me.
he's 45. I thought it was
it's
younger
turning
than-
out
I thought it was
everyone's
more like 35.
becoming younger than me.
I mean, what the fuck, right?
That's what's happening.
It's just weird.
Just getting older, dude.
I fucking still feel young.
But
in
I
the
really
fucking-
encourage anybody that wants
my
to
head.
watch an interesting show,
when I can remember who I am.
and it's got a little liberal bent to it because that's what Kamau is, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
He goes to various places in the country that you wouldn't go, and and it's not all about race. I mean, he went back to
He hates white people, Joe, by the way. He's a racist.
he's married to a white person.
Doesn't matter. He hates white people.
You think so?
Yeah, he hates them.
I don't think I don't get that.
Yeah.
I think he hates anything. I believe he has zero. There's zero leeway between a racist. I can't say this correctly,
I'm not going to help you out because I don't know.
but there is
some.
some. There is no room whatsoever for any comment that is even could be construed remotely racist.
Right.
If you
There's no.
say any of that,
Yeah.
even if you don't even know. There's a lot of people
The
that
plain
don't
fact
know.
that he thinks that he thinks that if you're white, you're a racist. All right. He thinks that if
See,
you're
I
white,
don't
you're a
know
racist.
that.
That's
I
what
mean,
he
and
thinks.
you're speculating.
No,
'cause
no.
you don't know that. You don't know what's in the guy's
He
heart.
thinks all white people are racist, and that to me in itself is racist. I think that's bullshit.
Well, I mean, there is I don't know. Is
I think it's
white
bullshit.
apparently is a race?
Caucasian.
Caucasian?
Yeah.
Is that?
You know what? I fucking can't wait for all of us to. We'll never see it, and they think it's going to be. Some people think it's going to be sooner than I think. It's going to be hundreds and hundreds of years.
Oh, I don't. I think this has
But
to.
there's going to be really, really black people and not really, really black people in probably about 1,000 years. There'll always be really, really dark people because they're not going. They only.
Oh, I thought you were talking
with
about.
themselves.
I believe that we are. I'm going to say 100 years from when people won't see race,
I hope so. Wouldn't that be great?
and
But
that's
there's a lot of Chinese, man.
that's so. Yeah, but Asians.
There's a lot of Asian people that are not going to intermingle with any race either. There's always going to be races. That's what I'm saying. The people
I don't
are like,
know because the
there
world's
are always going to be racist.
You know something? The world is getting smaller and smaller.
No, but there's a lot of fucking Asian people, man. Chinese
but who's-
people in particular.
who dislikes the Asians?
I'm not saying dislike. I'm talking about these people who say you're talking about people not noticing race. I'm talking about people have this strange notion that sometime in the history of the human race that everyone's going to be the same race and look the same. It's never going to happen. People are always going to look different.
You mean there's going to be
And they're just people.
like everyone's going to start fucking no matter what, and
Eventually,
and
it'll all be
eventually
mixed. and
They'll
it'll
be all an amalgam of what we all
it's
used to
just
be.
Never going to happen. That shit is never going to happen. It's impossible.
Not in 100 years, maybe in 1,000.
I don't know, man. That means
If
that
you can
every
step-
dark. That means that That means that eventually, nobody who's just Asian mixes, and nobody who's just white mixes, and nobody who's just yellow or brown, and nobody who's dark African. You know what I mean? I find it hard to believe that they can weed out the pedigrees. I think there's going to be pedigrees always. I'm talking about like the really, really, like the guys
know
who
what
are
you're
so
talking
black they're blue. They're always going. There's going to be some of them
you're
just
talking about
never abandon. You know,
But there's people that live
going
in.
outside their race.
I want to say Nigeria
It'll take 50,000.
has
years.
Nigeria and whatever country, Kenya, have extremely black people.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
No. Right.
Now, Rwanda. Remember the Hotel Rwanda where I think we discussed this, but the Dutch created the Hutus and the Tutsis. Did I tell you that?
No.
In Rwanda.
So they're ethnically the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's one
It's
one
more
was,
tribal than ethnic.
One was lighter than the other.
Yeah.
And that's what designated whether you were a Hutu or a Tutsi, and I still don't know. One of these days I'll look it up. I used to know back when I knew about that when Clinton was in office. It was a horror show. And then everybody saw the movie, of course.
All fighting each other with machetes and shit.
But I gotta believe, like, in 500 years, you're gonna be able to go into a fucking telephone booth and hit a couple buttons, and you're gonna be able to be in wherever you want.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Star
sure.
Trek type shit.
Right.
Could be wrong, and that basically means the world is just wide open.
Yeah.
So everybody will be fucking everybody.
Yeah.
And
just too many of us. There's
I
too many
just-
people.
I just don't.
It's a big number, man. 8 billion or whatever, 7 point
7.
something.
But it's interesting.
I remember when it was not even 4 yet. The fucking population's doubled in my lifetime.
There are also. Who are the people that do, the studies of humans? Anthropologists?
Anthropology is the study of, human beings.
Apparently 9 billion is where the world is going to 9 billion, and that's about it.
Oh, that's what they say?
Yeah, because apparently...
That's not an anthropology thing. That's something else.
Apparently the deal is once you get to the 9 billion, then the countries that... The more modern countries are having less kids. So the United States, Europe...
Yeah.
China
they already are.
by design, although
Yep.
they're loosening up on that. But as countries become
loosening up.
dragged into the first world, they have less and less kids. Now, and which is one of the reasons why Europe is taking pretty much anybody they can get. And I'm not saying that all these Muslims are horrible people. I'm not even saying that most of them are.
I am.
But they need the people. They need the population growth. Part of the problem with and I'll speak of France because I know some people that live there and understand it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my buddy Ira's pal. I was talking.
Pierre?
Huh?
Pierre?
No.
Francois?
He's Portuguese and he's from New Bedford.
Of course
I'm
he is.
sorry, Fall River. But he married a French woman, and I was talking to his wife and his daughter. And his daughter's, she was born there, but she's got dual citizenship or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Some countries
But
still do that.
The deal is
oui, oui.
now they talk about these places where these no-go zones, because it's all immigrants.
Oh, you mean like within a country? No
Right,
go mean
like,
don't go to that neighborhood, basically.
Yeah, don't go to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But apparently the French have done a really horrible job.
At everything?
Well, the French don't want to assimilate with these people. They want the population. They need the labor.
Yeah,
but
right.
they don't want to assimilate.
Yeah.
So they're French. These people are French.
Yeah.
And they're having kids in France.
Right.
And have so for generations. Because there's a lot of Algerians in France.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because Algeria was, that's where
That's why.
But the French...
That's why most French people
a
hate
lot
the
of
Jews.
Snotty motherfuckers. They want nothing to do with these people. So they're not allowing them to assimilate into French, into French life. And of course, they're distinguished by color.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's going to take 1,000 years, Al. Maybe it's not 100 before nobody notices race anymore.
I know painfully little about France. You figure that.
I know painfully little.
I mean,
myself.
is
I've
it
never
like
been.
here? I don't think I've been there.
Although
pretty
I don't
sure
think
I've
that
not
really
been to
matters
France.
either. But, and I'll probably...
I certainly haven't been to Paris, and I'll tell you right now, I'm never going to go to Paris. I'm glad my son went to Rome. I'm glad he got the chance. I'm never going to go to Rome. Oh, by the way, I'm done with Europe. I'm never, ever, ever going to Europe again. I did it 10 or something times. I'm all set. There's a lot of places in this fucking nice country right here I want to see, and more of the Caribbean.
Well, I have one trip
Hawaii.
that I want to do, and it's I have to. I can't do this alone. I'll have to find somebody.
Where do you want to go, Joe?
Well, I'm going to retrace in a backwards direction the troop movement of World War II
Oh, wow. That'd be interesting.
through the country
Yeah.
or the countries. But
Oh,
I want
that'd
to
be
start. I'd like to start. I don't want to end at a concentration camp. I'd like to go to Auschwitz, which I believe was freed by. I don't know. Did we get to did the Russians get to Auschwitz first, or did the Allies?
I should know, and I used to know because
they were the part. Of the
I was a
Allies.
history buff. I don't know. I'm not
don't
going to even.
remember either.
I'm not going to tell you because I don't know the fact.
Well, first I got to read up about it.
Yep.
But this is what I'd like to do. So I do want to go to Normandy, or Normandy or Calais. I forget. They landed in Normandy.
Yeah.
And I want to go and see the beaches and all that shit, and
Yeah.
walk the cemetery and stuff like that. And that's part of that trip. So I'm talking about probably doing a month, because I think I can get myself, if I know that I'm going to be there for three weeks, a month, I can do the fucking flight.
Yeah. I bet you fly home after a week and a half.
You think I just get sick of it and say, fuck
It's
this.
like,
Fuck all these people that don't want to
beer's
speak to me.
The beer's warm. The food sucks. You know what I mean? And the food's actually wonderful, but I'm just saying.
The United States is so beautiful.
It really is.
And I try to tell people that you got to get into the interior of the United States. And I'm not talking fly. You got to get in a fucking car. Now, you can drive, you can fly to Denver.
By the
and
way,
then
we
get
got
into a car.
We got to go back to Milwaukee for some reason.
Yeah. But you got to go see some of these places that are in the United States that are just fucking amazing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
in the Southwest, Monument Valley is just incredible.
Do you think you'll ever get to redo any of your motorcycle routes in a car? You talked about that once before.
I don't know.
Or is that less appealing than the last time we spoke about it?
I toy with it, but it was very, it's like you can't. There's a road that goes from Fort Bridger, Wyoming, to Jackson Hole, and it's like Route 1 or 101 or something like that. And there were three of us. It was my father and Bob alone, and we all did that road we used to break up during the day because someone would need gas and someone would take a shit or whatever.
And not everyone wants to stop.
Right. So that was our deal. So we had a place to stay in Jackson Hole. And this road was just fucking amazing. And we all said, like when we
Regrouped.
like each one of us said it at a different. Wasn't that a fucking amazing road?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just.
What was amazing about it? Just the vista?
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't like a treacherous mountain road. It must have been a nice road
It
to
was
drive.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain. I mean, it was a combination of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
I mean, stunning beautiful. And it was very interesting that we all kind of said, this, and it's not like, hey, when my father showed up, like, how'd you like that road? He walked in and so did Bob, because I usually got there first.
Right.
But they each walked
Fucking
in and said,
8
hey,
beers
was
in
that
before
a
you have
fucking
to-
awesome road or what?
8 beers in before you had to talk to your father.
No.
No, I know.
I couldn't drink that much because you got to.
Yeah, you got to go get up
we
the
were-
next day.
We were doing, although out there wasn't that bad, but we do 400 miles a day.
Was it hot when you were on that trip?
Yeah.
It was hot, huh?
Although we left, coming back, we were in Wyoming someplace, and we started on one trip, and we were up on top of a mountain for a long way, and it was like we left at 5:00 in the morning, and I was fucking frozen to the motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, for an hour and a half, just frozen until we started coming out of the mountains. Because, I mean, if you're up 10,000 feet,
Sure.
doesn't matter whether it's August, it's fucking hot, or July.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would when you went out west, the left side going out west, the left side of your face would get burnt.
Okay.
And coming back, the right side of your face and your arm and anything else that was exposed would get burnt. And that's
Even it up.
that's the way it works.
Right.
Because there's no way to get out of the heat. And I don't know how there's people that do it in camp. You know, I couldn't imagine doing 12 hours and then not being able to take a shower.
Yeah, right.
And because there's just, there's a serious amount of road grime.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, you get to your destination after 12 hours on a highway and your face is fucking black.
right.
Everybody wears sunglasses, and my father and I, Bob Malone wasn't interested in this, but I wear earplugs
Okay.
because you could still hear everything, but it just dampens the sharpness of the noise.
Right.
And, but your face has just you got road dirt all over you.
Right. Sounds wonderful. I get it. I'm just not a motorcycle enthusiast, but I get it. I get the whole,
Well, it wasn't even about the motorcycles. It was more about it's a way to travel.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't think I'd want to do it again. And my father was, I don't know, he was in his 60s.
Yeah.
Well, let's see now. The last trip, I think, was 2003. How long ago was that?
That's fucking 15 years ago.
All right.
So
So
he was in
he's
his
80,
60s.
so he was 65 on his last trip.
Yeah.
And that was about all he could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was done at 65.
Right.
It's just, it beat the shit out of him.
He did it a few times earlier, too, or no? Did he ever do
He
it?
did one before me.
Yeah.
So he was on all 3 trips that I went on, and then he did a solo trip cross country, which sort of got the whole ball rolling. And I told Bob Malone about it, who'd never rode a motorcycle in his life, and he said, "I want to go."
Mm-hmm.
And we got him a motorcycle, but he went the year before and went to Seattle to visit my sister.
When you're on those trips, like on average, I know every bike's different, but on average, how often do you have to stop for gas when your balls out doing a fucking long day?
About probably every 150 miles.
All right.
So we'd get up, we'd start like say at 6 o'clock, and we go have breakfast and fill up, be on the road at 6 o'clock. It's nice to get 150 miles under your belt before 9.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because when you first leave, you want to get the fuck out of the east.
So you're going 70.
So it's the first day, first 4 days are kind of brutal, and the last 4 days are kind of brutal because anything east of the Missouri River is pretty much everything that you see here.
Okay.
So you basically got to do 4 days before you're in the West.
Right.
So it brings up, if I were ever to do this again, I wouldn't start here. I would have, I'd find some company to fucking
Chip your bike, basically.
either rent them or find some way to get them there.
Right.
But I don't think I would do because it's 600 miles a day for 4 days is a lot on a motorcycle.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a lot, period.
Yeah, it's a lot in a car.
Yeah, I mean, the whole driving thing, I mean, especially, well, whatever. Like you said, it's a way to travel and see something different, but these people who fucking drive to Florida, I'm like, you know that you can drive to fucking Providence, be there in less than an hour, and in less than 3 hours, you're going to be in Florida. I got the whole flying thing down, man. You get on the plane, fucking close your eyes. When they come by with the drinky, you have the drinky, close your eyes. I'm wicked good at making a 2 hour, 40-minute plane ride go quick like. Even the
that's
Europe,
a fast flight, and it's a cheap flight.
and it's
mostly.
cheap. It's $100 each way.
Yeah.
It really is. That's all it is.
And I mean,
it's just such a good way to go.
I just think it doesn't. You can't even financially justify driving.
Yeah.
I mean,
People
it
said
costs-
that, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Even the guys that go down, like Yak and Paula, go down and they'll drive both cars back and both cars down. When they come back up for the summer, and then when they go down for the winter. And she's even saying, "Fuck this! I'm flying, and I'll buy some sort of $2,000 car." The beauty is you can go buy like a $2,500 car that's some sort of a, even some of the American cars with 150,000 miles on them,
Right.
and they'll run forever. They're not going to rot in Florida.
Yeah, right.
It's just leave a fucking car down there.
Right. You're not going to...
Some sort of Honda or something, and and everybody ends up
something American, like a Honda.
Yeah, well, but you could get like any kind of fucking Ford something or other, or these cars just go forever now.
You see ads all the time, and I got to chuckle because even me, I'm like, it's only got 120,000 miles on it. That thing's fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be
low mileage, man. Used to be anything over. I mean, the closer you got to 100, the less you wanted it. And now it's like an S10 with only 125,000 on it. Hook me up.
I bought a Toyota Corona with 100,000 miles on it. That was my first car. It was a 76 Toyota Corona.
Wow.
And everybody thought I was shithouse nuts
Yeah.
for buying a car with 100,000 miles. And that car, I think I gave it to my father.
Oh, no shit.
And I wanted, because, he did the Boston thing. I want to say that he had, I know it was over 300,000, and he got rid of it because he could put his feet through the fucking floor.
Right.
It just rotted. There was nothing left of the car.
Right.
But the thing still ran fine. So
I had one of my third cars. We talked about third cars the last time a little bit. One of my third cars was your old man gave me a Tempo. I think it was a Ford Tempo.
Oh, I remember that.
The blue. I didn't get my.
It was an awful car.
It was. I only used it like 4 times. I didn't really have to do any work on it to get it a sticker.
Oh, you had that for a while, didn't you?
Nah, I think I had it for like a little less than a year. Yeah, maybe around a year. 2 summers, maybe. But my kids were little. We like we said, I always had a third car. You know what I mean? Well,
right.
For a while there, I had like a 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th car too. If you wanted to talk about shitty work vans on the road for 1 or 2 years, you know what I mean?
Right,
for guys. But that thing had like 256 grand on it when I got it, and it was cool. Actually, you gave me a third car too. That one didn't last long either. The Monte Carlo, was it a Monte Carlo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My daughter's car.
I actually left that on the side of the road and never ever. And when I went to the tow guy who towed it on the side of the road, and I gave him the title.
Well, you know what the thing was
I
with
said,
that
"It's
car?
yours." It needed a new wire harness. Bye.
I forget why, but I had just dumped a lot of money into that for her.
Yeah. No. That I got almost 2 years out of that fucking thing.
So, and she had got her job. She wanted to get a newer car. She was commuting from here to Norwell. So I couldn't argue with her. I mean,
I think that's.
but they wanted to give us $500 on a trade-in. And I said, fuck that. I just put $1,000 into this thing. Like, I think I did like brakes. I made the air conditioner work.
Oh yeah, no, that
things
thing was
like
great.
that. So I said, you know what? I'll see if somebody wants it. And I asked you, and you're like, yeah.
By the way, that car made the move with me when I moved out. I had 2 cars when I moved out on the road. That one and the green truck.
Well, that
And then I
car
ended up
ran
with
great. It was a
It was
nice
awesome.
car
It just
when
the
it was
electric
running.
The electrical system went. That's all. I didn't cost me nothing. I think I did brakes on it also, and
Some pads or
yeah,
something.
something. But it was a nightmare. It was right after I
No,
moved
I mean,
out.
because it had like new brakes, new tires. The AC was. I had Wayne do it. AC was fixed. And that was the second car that I bought her.
My
So, at any rate.
my sister-in-law had come to visit, and still my wife, but I wasn't living with her, asked me, can Sylvia use that car? I'm like, absolutely.
Sure.
And she drove it around for a day or two, and it broke down on Colony Place, on Commerce Way. She called me.
Yeah, I
She
think
had
I
a cell
remember
phone,
that.
And I went and got her. I said, get in. I left it there. I literally left it on the side of the road, drove away.
Took the plates off?
Fucking no. I left it there. They towed it. I can't remember if the police called me or the guy called me who towed it. And I went down and I gave him the title. I said, I'm good.
Well,
Good story.
I had to have a little story like that. My father, when he lived up here, so this was before this is like somewhere around, say, 97 or something. I had this trailer that I used. It was a trash trailer, so I used to throw the trash into the trailer, and I'm talking about household trash, because it was like a 4x8 open trailer, and then I'd go to the dump when the thing was full. And he had a buddy that was somewhere in the Bridgewaters where the guy had, I don't know, pigs or something. So we got a bunch of fucking pig shit and put it in the trailer, right? So we're on the highway, and Anna was with us. It's me, him, and Anna, and we're driving back, and I see this fucking smoke and this horrible noise. Well, the axle had broken in half in the trailer.
Oh,
So I think the statute of limitations has run out. So I just I got out and I said, well, I think this thing's fucked. I took the plate off it, and off we went. And I was driving northbound on the highway, and there was a bunch of DPW guys standing around the trailer just shaking their head, because it was literally a trailer full of shit left on the side of the road. So, I don't know. What are you going to do?
by the way, that wasn't really Joe.
Yeah, that wasn't me. If anybody's listening and remembers, you'd have to prove it.
Hey, everybody. I'm losing steam a little bit. We'll be right back. But bro, we'll be back. We're back. So of course, once again, we should probably just not take a break because somehow we find something to talk about during the break. 9 different subjects and
Well, we were just talking about
artificial sweeteners.
yes, and 'cause
Caffeine.
I'm drinking some Diet Coke over here, and Al was telling me that there's a lot of caffeine.
Enough to make me feel not good.
But if you
Got a
drink,
minuscule amount, it turns out.
we're gonna do a little math here.
The new math by Joe.
We're gonna do some math. Write this down.
Go ahead.
If you're drinking a Diet Coke,
Yep.
there are 3.75 milligrams in 12 ounces.
That's nothing.
In 12 ounces.
Right.
Okay, that's key here. 3.75 milligrams, 12 ounces. A cup of coffee has anywhere from 12 to 30 milligrams of caffeine per ounce. Meaning a cup of coffee, 1 ounce of coffee has 3 times the amount of caffeine as 12 ounces of soda. That's if it's on the low end, because it's 12 to 30 milligrams. So some of that really fucking jazzed out shit. So 30 milligrams would be, 4 and a 30, 7 is 28, right?
Sexy when you do math.
7.5.
Mm-hmm.
So an ounce of coffee would have 7.5 times, in round numbers,
Yeah.
the amount is 12 ounces of Diet Coke. Regular Coke, however, though, has 5 milligrams
ton.
of caffeine
Per
per
ounce.
ounce. So that's, 2.5 times
It's 60 in a
as
can.
much as
It's 20. Well, no.
an
15
ounce of
times
Coke.
as much as.
an ounce of coffee.
It's more than 15 times as much as Diet Coke.
It's a lot.
It's a lot
So
of
I guess they
fucking
take a lot
caffeine.
of the caffeine out along with the sugar.
By the way,
But everybody tells me this Diet Coke, it's going to kill you.
First of all, it tastes like shit. Regular Coke tastes great.
I can't drink. It's too.
It's too
it's like
sugary.
drinking-
it's sugary.
If you go from Diet Coke to Coke, it's like going from skim milk to whole milk. Like,
it's
did you
the
ever
number
do the,
one worst thing that you can put in your body is regular soda, Coke.
Oh, it's
the-
fucking like this.
And I went
this-
through a fucking.
There's like a cup
bout
of
with
sugar
it.
in a 16-ounce can.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, crazed.
It's an insane amount of
Yeah,
sugar.
it's diabetes in a bottle. Is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's delicious, and that's why it's bad for you. Everything that really tastes good is wicked bad for you. That's why Diet Coke's really not that bad for you, because it tastes like shit.
Well, I used to do skim milk
If it was really bad for you, it would taste better.
with cereal. Now my wife doesn't buy any of that shit, and I eat whatever she buys
Yeah.
because I'm too fucking lazy. Because I like cereal. It's a good way to get something in you in the morning.
Yeah.
If rather than grabbing a fucking, because I don't do the coffee at all anymore.
Yeah.
The only time I do, if I go to breakfast, I do like a couple cups of coffee, and somehow I can handle that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because because like if it's me and Bill or me and Alan or me, Bill, and we stop, we get breakfast. You know me. We used to go to Plain Jane's when you were working. So we do. So I'll do coffee then, but I don't go to Dunkin'. I don't grab coffee.
You don't make it. You
Because-
were making it for a little while, right
Yeah,
before the
and,
podcast.
I might.
You know?
When in the wintertime,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do that again. But
Oh, was that what it was? The winter? I don't remember.
yeah, I mean now it's light out when we end,
Oh yeah.
rather than dark out when we start.
Oh, I know.
But the
It's fucking.
I
summer.
have to have a nap at 2:00 if I have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh wow, you actually crash, huh?
I crash.
If I have a cup of coffee at 2 p.m, which I don't anymore, I
yawning.
can't sleep. It's the direct opposite.
Yeah.
I don't crash from it. It makes me fucking nuts. You know what I have for breakfast now? I eat the same thing every day on my regimen. I have a cold coffee decaf, which I make the night. Well, my wife makes the night before, and it shakes in a little protein shake, and I have that and 2 egg whites on my way to work.
Well, Alan's brother
It's
Junior
awful.
drinks coffee all day.
Yeah.
Junior used to drink.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
gave that up years ago because Junior was sort of a violent drunk.
Oh, that's too bad.
There'd usually be somebody beat up at the end of the night.
Oh, that's too bad.
Or,
Or he'd be beat up.
Somebody's wife's tits were grabbed.
Oh,
Something like that.
he wasn't a good drunk.
So he gave it up. Now he drinks like 5 of those
Pots
monster coffees
A
from
pot
Dunkin'
and a cup,
Donuts.
right.
Because he's retired. And because he was in the fire department with
Might
Alan.
as well just do what you like to do. You know what I mean?
And Junior will show up and he'll talk at you for a half an hour
Cool.
without you getting a word in edgewise. You don't even. We should get him over here.
That sounds like
we
Luke.
could just leave.
That's like Luke Tangren, man.
We could go. We could fucking go to dinner and just leave Junior here, and he could
Is
do
he
a
manic?
whole show.
Do you think he's manic?
No, he's fucking
Jacked up
caffeine
on
out of his
caffeine.
mind.
He's high on caffeine, man. Speaking of motherfuckers,
Alan has to kick him out of his house. He's like, Junior, I can't
Get
I
out.
Can't, you got to get out of here. I
Well,
have to
Alan's-
drink 10 beers to be able to handle him.
well, and Alan's pretty laid back, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Junior's fired up.
That guy's relaxed. So he's Alan's older brother, then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Alan's.
Alan have his 60th yet? Is he 60?
Oh yeah, Alan's 62.
Oh, is he? Wow, man, everyone's getting old and shit.
62.
Handsome
Although you know
bastard.
something,
That's who I want down here. I think he'd be great, but he probably
tell you
too shy.
I'll tell you a. Well, he doesn't think that he has anything to add.
He's
which a lot
very
of-
interesting, and he has an opinion. There's no way I could get him to talk into the microphone. I bet
I think I'm gonna try.
I can barely get you to talk
in
in the
here.
microphone.
I
You
can
think
get it.
so?
Yeah, I think I could get him in here.
I'd love to have him down here, man.
Can't make fun of him because
I never make fun
No,
of
no, no,
Alan.
no,
I
no,
treat him
no,
with
no.
more respect than most people, and he fucking picks on me.
Alan is a ball buster,
Oh, I know, but you can't think.
but he's sensitive too.
He's the classic example of being able to dish it out but can't take it. So even saying that might make him feel bad, but it's true.
no, and he won't listen. Well, he won't hear this.
Yeah.
but if he can take it, you got to be. I don't know. I know how to do it. And
Yeah.
I destroy him, but it's because I'm just better at making people feel shitty.
Yeah.
That's just something I'm good at. One of my fucking skills.
It's hey man,
But,
you gotta like my mother said, stick with your strengths, man.
But he's just a wonderful guy. And now here's an inspiring story though.
Yeah.
My buddy Chris Jarvis down in Naples, Florida, and might as well use his last name. Who gives a fuck?
Doesn't matter.
I know he doesn't. That's for sure.
He's certainly not listening.
Chris has been in Naples since 1994. Moved there from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so how long ago? Is that 24 years?
That's a lot, like 24 years,
Holy
man.
shit. So
Good for him though, living there.
He's been down in Naples, and he's been part of that. I watched Naples go from 1994. You could buy a house on the ocean for like $125 grand.
Right.
Now a house on the ocean is $4 million. That's for a small one.
Yeah.
And he's doing condominiums now. And his sister is selling them. And because they sell condominiums with the kitchen. And that's it. Like no flooring, nothing on the walls.
Right.
It's got a spray coat of paint on the walls.
But
But there's
really decorator ready.
They call it, that's what they call them,
Yeah.
decorator ready. So there isn't a fucking thing in them.
Yeah.
So they're starting at $5 million
Wow.
up to like 12. And he's getting most of the finishes.
Awesome.
His deal is he'll put the flooring in.
Cabinets.
They want shelving. They want, teak shit.
Is he buying appliances too for people?
Stairs. Well, they have to put the kitchen in for occupancy.
Sure.
And it's weird. So there's the kitchen in, but there's no, the doors are in, the floors are in. But there's no floors in it. It's just a concrete floor.
Right.
And the concrete floor is like 2 inches lower than the kitchen floor
Right.
because they have to put a kitchen floor in. And then
Probably have to
there'll
put
be a
bathroom
stairway
floors
to
in
the
too.
second floor.
I think that's part of the international code. that we all
Yeah,
have to
the
follow.
bathrooms-
The bathroom floor and the kitchen floor have to be in.
But I can't. I don't think there's showers.
And then you can just rip them back out.
Yeah, maybe they just put in the cheapest shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I've been in a few of them that are finished, and a few of them that have been unfinished. I can't tell. I don't remember if the bathrooms. I know that you can go in and take a piss. So there's got to be, maybe there's a fiberglass shower that you cut out with a Sawzall.
By the way, the big boss where I work, he's got a place in Naples in a gated community.
Well, he'll go in. They'll spend a couple $1 million putting shit into these things.
Right.
You know, they'll rip all the cabinets out. He ends up with so many free appliances.
Right.
You know, and the funny thing is, they'll put in the fucking 6-burner Viking range
Right.
with
Wolf.
a double oven underneath and a double wall oven.
Yeah.
And I've been back in these places like, hey, watch this. I did this place 3 years ago. And the fucking stove has never been used.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
And you're like, I don't know. It just seems like such a fucking waste.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is, man. I mean,
But he's done,
thank God that they're keeping your buddy busy.
you know, the some of the more expensive units had the stairway that kind of goes
Sure.
half round
Yeah,
up to a
yeah,
little
yeah.
balcony and
Yeah.
all that bullshit. And in the front entrance when you walk in, and he's done those stairs and it's all kind of, onyx, like one of these staircases that he did was $275,000.
Awesome.
But here's what I don't know why I got off on this tangent, because I was talking about how crazy it was. Like, if I had just said, you know what, why don't we buy like fucking 5 houses down here and keep them
Yeah.
and rent them out? If I just had that in my head, I'd have, he and I'd have $30 million.
Right.
It's crazy. Because I remember when his parents bought a place, they paid like $400,000 on the ocean, and the place has sold for $7 or $8 million.
Wow.
So his longest running employee was a guy named Paul. Paul retired he worked for the state of New York. He worked at Sing Sing. I don't know whether that's state or county or what the hell it is, but it's a state prison.
Yeah.
We've all heard of it, Sing Sing.
Yeah.
And he retired, and I guess, needless to say, Paul didn't really get along with his wife. Maybe he did. I don't know. But he worked for Chris for 15 years.
Cool.
And he started when he was 69 years old.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
So when you think maybe there's, we start talking about getting old.
He's the same age as Anthony Kennedy.
And he was a real asset. Towards the end, it got a little tough because Paul would forget where he is and shit.
Yeah, well, it happens.
And Chris couldn't get rid of anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
right.
one of those guys.
Well, if you're loyal, it's tough,
Yes. And Chris is one of those guys. He's got this woman who I love named Dawn who works for him. And she's the enforcer because there'd be people showing up. Oh, Chris, I need can I get like an advance on next week's pay? And, he'd give them $300 or $400 and, he'd never get it back.
Right.
And he'd do this, you do that 6 times a year with 10 different guys and it starts adding up. So Dawn's the one that tells, now you got to go through Dawn. And she says, go fuck yourself. Stop spending all your money on crack. So, I don't know. So he's kind of like, I don't deal with any of the money. You got to go talk to Dawn.
Right.
And they're all like, but Chris, I know that Dawn won't give me anything. And it's like, oh, I had to put an end to it.
Anthony Kennedy's name just popped up again. By the way,
He's 81 or 82.
Oh, I thought he was 84. But anyway, fucking Chris Matthews went on a fucking tirade last night.
Did
And,
he?
Yeah, and a lot of Democrats
see
are catching.
it, or you just,
No, I actually watched the clip.
Really?
Yeah, and he basically is saying that his replacement has to be delayed until after the midterm elections in November. It has to be. There's no way. They said you can just wait. You have to wait until the midterm elections are over. And it's just like it's just awful. They're just grasping. You know what? If it takes that long, it takes that long. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It might take that long anyway.
Well, didn't they?
But if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Didn't they already fucking blow the whole thing out of the water with Gorsuch? Because he was approved without a supermajority in the Senate, right?
Yeah.
Because they tried to hold him up.
Yeah, and everyone wants to blame that on Cocaine Mitch, but Harry Reid did that himself as well.
No, but I'm
you know
saying
what I mean?
once that rule is broken, it's broken pretty much forever.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there is no reason. If they've got a guy they want to get in,
Yeah.
they're going to get him in.
Yeah, they are.
Because he'll go through the House and they will pass it in the Senate.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think I could be completely wrong about this, but they basically, that's why they call it the nuclear option, because when they broke that rule for Gorsuch, it's broken forever.
Right.
Unless they, get together and decide to put it back. There are still things you have to do a supermajority with.
Right.
That was the thing where instead of filibustering, I guess they can still filibuster.
I mean, yeah, technically.
But I don't think this is...
Filibustering is a bitch.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of work.
You got to find a lot of people
that's
who
why
are willing to put the work in.
That's why they came up with the supermajority.
Right.
They're like, all right, fuck the filibuster. Right. If we get 60 votes, can we just pass this thing? And they agree to that.
Right.
In the Senate. Now, I don't know how that works in the House, but I probably should know.
Well, we're going to find out. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to get your fucking, every few years fucking lesson on the fucking Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Because every president gets to fucking pick someone on the Supreme Court. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, but you know something? I'm thinking that he's going to be able to at least 3. I think Ginsburg, as much as she wants to hang on.
She can't even stay awake, Joe. Darth Vader.
I don't know how. Oh, by the way, I was fucking totally wrong. I said that Ruth Bader Ginsburg must have been an ugly fucking toad.
I told you she was probably cute.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was actually quite attractive.
Of course she was. She was a partier, too.
Sotomayor was okay.
Yeah, I told you that, too. And Elena Kagan has never been a good looking
She's never
girl.
looked good. So
Joe.
I have to take it back. And did you realize that Ruth Bader Ginsburg? See, I knew this last week. I didn't mention it, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Judge
Scalia were best friends.
They used to go. They used
travel
to travel
together. Yeah, they were best friends.
A lot.
Yeah, they got a kick out of each other.
They loved each other.
Yeah, they got a kick out of each other.
Even though they wildly disagreed with judicial
That's
philosophy.
what it's all about.
And on a happy note, I kind of, I talked about Kamau Bell.
Racist.
Well, I don't know if he's a racist. Maybe he is.
He is a racist.
But I enjoy his show, United Shades of America, on Sunday nights, and he's got I like the guy, and he's a left wing guy. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a right wing guy. There's some things that I agree with.
Yep.
Like slavery was a bad thing. I agree with that.
Yeah. Slavery was uncool, man.
It's fucking, and it's still not cool to treat black people,
Black people got a gripe, man.
You should be able to walk into a store, no matter what color, and not be judged by the color of your skin.
Prejudged. That will go away, by the way. That
Hopefully.
will go away.
It
one
is
day.
slow.
That will go away.
But I also, everybody, and he's guilty of this too, because he does this in his stand-up special. Everybody looks at Congress and says, this country is it's broken. Everything's broken. All these people are scumbags. And there's a lot of that. But I've said this to Al on numerous occasions. You have to think about it. If you're one of these watchers on TV, if you watch this cable news shit, or you pay any attention, there are maybe a handful of senators, say 15, that you might see on television.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, you talk about this. Yeah.
And so there's 100 senators, 15, maybe 20, or a fifth that you see on television.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's closer to 15. And it's like McCain and McConnell and
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell.
So and then in the Senate where there's 435. Is that what we got?
No, the House.
I mean the House, 435. There might be, Jesus, I bet there's probably the same number. 20,
maybe
30,
20, yeah.
30 that you ever hear from on television. Meaning there are a lot of people that actually go to Washington and serve a couple of terms and leave.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of turnover.
And there's even a lot of turnover in the very, you think about guys like...
and we're not talking about deciding not to run. We're talking about do a couple terms and leave.
Right.
Even there's a couple of one-term senators. They do their 6 years, and they go away. They don't rerun. They don't even run.
Right. And whether they're frustrated or whether they're just, you know what, I did it. Yeah. I did my public service. Now I'm going to fucking, play golf.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or go back to my practice.
But most of the people you never hear about, you never see, and they're probably trying to do the right thing. They probably saw something wrong. They wanted to go and try and fix it. Maybe they did. Maybe they succeeded. Maybe they failed. Maybe we're better. But I don't think it's as broken as you think. It never is as bad.
Yeah,
because
it's never as bad as you think, and it's never as good as you think.
Throughout the entire Obama thing, I watched the right wing just fucking melt down constantly,
just seething constantly
about how horrible he is. He's
yeah.
And
well, he was the worst president in the history of the United States.
And now we see the same thing about Trump. And now,
the best president in the history of the United States.
Trump says Trump is not politically correct.
No.
And he does, look, he call it hyperbole or just call it
He exercises in
lying.
Hyperbole.
He does some severe hyperbole.
Hyperbolizing.
I think when you get to Trump's level, there is he knows. I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows so if you know that Trump's thing is you never admit to anything.
Yeah, right.
That is negative.
Deny.
Ever. Whether it's true or not.
Yeah, right.
And that's been his deal. So he's wildly consistent.
He is consistent.
Even though he may seem like he's just, a wild man in the White House. And he's not, I watched a lot of, you can't go meet Kim Jong-un. That's unpresidential.
What the hell are you talking about?
And I'm like, he's like, I got a chance to go over there and fucking, this asshole's been kicking around, the regime's been there since the 50s.
Yeah.
Isn't it time we fucking end this?
Right.
If I can go meet with him, who cares whether it's presidential or not?
Right.
And I think there is some...
I wonder if they're going to squawk about his meeting with Putin. Probably. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Go meet Putin.
I think that I would rather have somebody that will go and fucking talk to somebody else, than somebody who just says all the right words, but is just a fucking ineffective... Well, basically... Barack Obama, I think, is a pretty nice guy. Although, I'm not kidding around. He didn't put prisoners in Gitmo because he blew them up with their families.
Right.
So, if you think Barack Obama is more decent than Trump, I think you really got to go look at the facts. And he deported 2.8 million people. So I don't know whether this is the same policy and Trump got hammered for it.
Yeah.
Were they separating children under Obama?
They sure were. They got videos of it and shit.
So the deal is,
2014, by definition, that's...
no matter how bad you think it is, whether this is... Al and I happen to love Trump.
He's a character.
I love him.
He's very presidential, by the way.
I just love him because it's fucking fun, and I know that the country is strong enough to handle 8 years of Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
And probably needs the shakeup. As much as as much as, and I keep pointing out, the fucking option was just a horror show.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it wasn't like Trump beat John F. Kennedy. You know, I'm a JFK Democrat.
Sure.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
But Trump didn't beat JFK. Trump beat
the worst
talking
candidate in the history
we're talking
of
about
modern
Satan.
presidential politics.
And maybe this is where I go wrong as far as like the same way Kamau Bell says Trump's a racist.
Yeah.
But I think she's fucking Satan.
She's awful.
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I've been paying attention to those Clintons. They're fucking evil.
Yeah, they are.
They're evil. So, hey, Bill Clinton raped a woman and
A couple.
got away with it.
By the way, Bill Clinton loves raping people.
He fucking loves raping.
That's his thing, man.
He does. He just loves raping.
I mean, everybody's got a thing, and his happens to be raping people.
I think he's too tired to rape now. You think?
I got a feeling it doesn't need to rape. I think he's doing a lot of fucking. And yeah, we always say, we remind ourselves and everyone else, raping isn't about sex, it's about power. By the time you're 70 and you're the ex-president and you're getting tons of trim, I don't think you need to fucking do the power thing.
Right down the street.
Oh, is he now? Is that what he's doing?
Well, no, that was going
down the
on.
street in Massapequa or by his office in Harlem?
No, by.
I wonder if he still keeps the office in Harlem now that the fucking global initiative is all fucking done.
The foundation's not done, but they're not doing the global initiative anymore.
Okay.
And I don't know how much credibility he has, because after this Me Too shit, there was no tolerance for him either.
Yeah, no. I mean, he seems to have gone away. But I mean,
and if anybody
he's got that fucking book out. That's right. He got grilled on CNN about the Me Too shit because he's got that book out. He's got a fucking
every
novel
skeleton
out.
Bill Clinton had in the closet that he was like becoming a real statesman and, you know, like a goodwill ambassador to the world and
right.
all that shit. All of that was during his wife's campaign was blown out of the fucking water by Trump.
Absolutely.
He can't be happy about it. And then she fucking lost.
I mean,
I bet he called her a fucking loser several
Could
times.
he possibly still get paid $300,000 to speak anywhere?
No.
Maybe in Canada.
It would be interesting to go, you know something? That's maybe something we should look up and see if
Who's doing the public speaking?
see if both of them, if either one of them are getting. I gotta believe she's getting some money for speed.
I think W is getting money. Barry's definitely getting money.
Barry's getting big money.
Big coin.
He's likable.
I think W still gets money.
Well, and he can talk. He's funny. You know,
he's great.
Talk about a great public speaker.
He's great.
You can't beat Obama. He sold everybody.
He's smooth, man.
He's a smooth cat.
He sure is.
He's no dummy, that's for sure.
No, man. He's a fucking Harvard law professor. He taught law.
Yeah,
right?
but you know there's a lot of law professors that are stiff.
I know, but he's not an intellectual stiff. By the way, Bill Clinton's no stiff either. He's a smart
Clinton's
fucking
one of the
dude.
smartest people we've ever had in office. He's just a fucking rapist. He
all.
loves raping. He fucking loves it.
Listen, you can't help. You know, the heart wants what the heart wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton wants pussy, basically.
And whether he's got to rape for it or not.
He just looks awful, too, by the way. I think that's literally what you're seeing is the end game of a deal with the devil. Although he was smart.
He didn't look good after that fucking heart attack. He hasn't looked good since he had that bypass.
You know who looks great since his heart attack, and you who watch TV, and I have to recommend a show to you, you're also a Netflix guy, is David Letterman's long-form interview show.
Oh, I saw him with Howard.
That wasn't a good one, by the way. That was not a good one because
and
it
none
was
of the people
it was
that he's
retread.
interviewed. I don't care what George Clooney thinks.
So you did at least watch the one with Howard?
I watched the one with Howard.
My point was Dave had the heart attack and he looked shitty for a while, but man, with that fucking beard, he looks vibrant for some reason. You know what I mean? Big old fucking white beard.
Well,
I
Jay
think he
Leno,
looks great.
Look, that's a hell of a job. And sitting there trying to look, you have these celebrities on, you know, And I got to tell you, these are some of the most boring fucking people. I mean, the actors, I'm talking about, like, the musicians are more interesting. The film actors tend to be so fucking boring.
Oh, they're awful.
Because, let's face it, you got to be really pretty, but you don't have to be that bright.
Yeah. Because
you can make 80 fucking takes.
The comic guys are good because they're social commentators. Some of the news people are fun.
You got to be, if you're a stand-up comic, you're a smart individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't be a dummy and do that.
There are no dummies. Speaking of smart, Tracy Morgan's got another show too.
On Netflix? I love him.
I don't know if it's Netflix or not. I forget, but he's got something going on that looks pretty funny too. Another talented dude who, if you're
he got fucked up too. You can tell.
Got physically racked the fuck up.
Yeah,
and he got some coin from Walmart.
Well,
from that too.
He deserved it.
Yep. And the family of the guy who died got some coin.
I mean, that was a bad deal.
Yep, right on that fucking Jersey Turnpike.
Oh, terrible.
Ouch.
Oh, have we had enough?
I have.
All right, let's call it a night.
It's a short one, but that's all right. Between this and the other one, we averaged 2 hours.
Hey, you know what? It's the weekend before 4th of July. It's a lot of people are.
And we're also preparing for. Did you get the news? We will be getting very hot weather starting Sunday. It's already starting to warm up with the rain. You figured it would have cooled it. It's starting to warm up. They're talking about 96, 97 in our neck of the woods on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. So
there you have it.
There it is. I mean, that's fine, right?
Summer's here.
All right, everybody. So I'm Al. That's Joe. And
listen to us. Tell a friend.
Oh, yeah. You know the other thing?
I
always forget, and I talk about the email. Fuck the email this time. Kinda Right on Facebook. Go on Facebook and Kinda Right. It has a Facebook page, believe it or not. We do. Kinda Right on Facebook. It's basically my fucking Facebook without me having... I only got... My other one that I shut off, I got like 300 friends. I got like 30 on this one. But Kinda Right on Facebook.com. Once in a while, I post a picture of Joe. And there's links. There's links to the show on that as well. Anyway, all right. That's it. Okay, Joe, have a good weekend, baby.
Good night, buddy.
See you.
Later.